Well, family, I'm going to give you a moment to make a change or a decision, really. But today's episode is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be more of a heartfelt episode. So I hope you stick around to find out what we're going to do here. But with no further ado, let's jump into it. So, are you feeling like you've hit a dead end in your career? What if you're just one decision away from reigniting your purpose? Are you looking for lessons in your loss, or are you letting it define you? What if this turn back moment is actually your breakthrough? See, this came about, family, because a family member, I call you a family because you're like my cousins on my uncle's side. Seriously, but really it came from a family member, and they said that thinking about quitting this thing that you love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. And then it just triggered something in me. I had everything laid out of what the episode I was going to deliver today. I was ready and getting ready to go. And then I had to put everything on pause. See, I had to put everything on pause because I realized that this is my why, of the reason why I started making these episodes. This was my why because I've had setbacks and I had to come back in. Who's best to talk about this, that's somebody that's been through something. I think I'm saying something. See, family, in life, we have to go through something. And when I say go through, that means that you're in it and you're constantly trying to move forward to walk through it. I love what James Clear said in his newsletter, 321. If you're not signed up for that, you should sign up for it. He said, a sure way to make a bad situation worse is to continue replaying it in your mind. See, the damage is done. The only thing that matters now is making the best choice, and I say decision, in the given current position that you're in. Again, the best choice, and I say decision, given in your current position. What does that mean? That basically means what has happened has already happened. Now, as they say, what are you going to do about it? Point number one, address the emotional impact. Listen, being looked over for a promotion, a potential job opportunity, let's be honest, it triggers feelings of inadequacy, frustration, fear of the future. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what am I going to do? See, this is a journey that when you step into this career of project management or any career, it's about how you respond, what is important, not what has happened to you, but how you respond. See, when things happen, they happen to us all. No one is immune from things happening to us, but your response is what's important. And the reason why this is important, because first, you need to acknowledge these emotions and you need to process them constructively, ensuring that it doesn't hinder your decision-making, or most important, family, your confidence. You have to continue to move forward. I want to give you some resources as my actionable tip. First one I'm going to talk about, as you can see, is Dr. Dennis Kimbro. He's an amazing author. I love this. The book is called What Makes the Great Great: Strategies for Extraordinary Achievement. Again, Dennis Kimbro. Another book I'm going to recommend is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. These two, and then of course, I'm going to throw in my book as well. If you haven't picked up The Magnetic Project Manager, I really think these resources can help you reframe how you're looking at the situation you're currently in, or you're going through, or you're about to get ready to go through. Because again, this episode is not for everybody, but I would recommend that you save today's episode in case you do have to go through this particular journey. Here's my additional action tips. Give yourself time to reflect and vent your emotions through journaling, speaking with a trusted mentor, or seeking professional support. One of the things is when I go through a challenging time in my life, or in my life, career, you could say professional or personal, I turn to my advisors, and my advisors guide me on helping me understand and unpack that, because this is why I'm always pushing you guys. Hey, join the community. It's not just a pitch, or I'm trying to, get some. I'm really saying this is what the community is being built for, to help you push through certain aspects of your life that you're going through, because there's somebody that's been there before. And so they can be able to assist you. And it may not be me, it may be somebody in the community that can give you that proper guidance. And then once you process, shift the focus to actionable next steps, not just, oh, well, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to think about it and I'm going to wonder when I'm going to do it. No, no, these are actionable steps that you're going to take. Point number two, did you control the controllables? I know, I get it. I know what you want to say. You want to blame the organization. You want to blame the hiring manager or anyone that you can point the finger at. But it's important to evaluate what was within your control, like your skill set, your skills, your communication, your preparation. And how did you go about doing that? See, why this is important, because you need to focus on the controllable aspects, helps you learn from the experience. And now watch this, family, you channel that energy instead of what we always talk about. Okay, we glance at the problem when we throw everything in my mama's kitchen sink at the actual solution. So take that energy and find ways that you can improve. Here's my actionable tip. Reflect on what was in your control during the situation. Let's say you were going for a job opportunity. You were in the top three of the candidates and they decided to go in a different direction. Well, what could you have done differently? Was it how you were answering the questions? Were you able to take what your experience and relate it back to what they were looking for? Because see, these are all controllables. These are things you can control. Also, could you have sharpened your skills and improved your communication with decision makers? Create a plan to address these particular areas so you can move forward. Point number three, how are you speaking to yourself about these challenges that you're going through? See, negative self-talk after losing a potential job opportunity or being overlooked for a promotion, again, it can really shock and damage your confidence. But, and that's the conjunction here. I don't know about you, but there was this cartoon. They said conjunction, junction, what's your function? See, the whole thing about a conjunction is when you insert a conjunction, anything before the but, the and, the or, the how, whatever that conjunction is, it eliminates everything behind it. So we're only looking forward as the model that I lean on so much. We have to have a windshield view and a rear view look. That means I'm glancing at my rear view, but I'm constantly staying focused on the windshield. This is where it's moving me forward. The rear view mirror is not going to move me forward. It's only going to allow me to move backwards if I'm putting the car in reverse. But life is meant to live forward. I think I just said something. If you didn't catch that, rewind it because it's important. So why is it important? Your internal dialogue shapes your mindset and your resilience. A positive narrative helps you focus on the next steps instead of dwelling on the setback. You remember the quote that I opened up today's episode with the James Clear. And that was important for me to open up with that because a lot of times we get caught in a cycle and we start thinking, well, if that didn't happen, maybe this could have done this and this. And then you just go and you start going down a tunnel. And eventually either you continue to go down that way and never course correct, or you just reframe the situation and say, okay, that happened. How am I going to address it? What am I going to do next time so this doesn't happen? Here's my actionable tip. Write down 3 positive affirmations daily. Here's an example. This is a temporary setback. I have the skills to succeed in project management. Family, real quick, while we're talking about communities, talking about mentorship, talking about just really being around like-minded individuals that when you fall down, oh, this is getting good to me, that somebody can be there to pick you up because we all need mentors. We all need coaches. I have a mentor. I have a coach. I'm not immune to any of this that any of us experience in life. So this is why I'm telling you, join the Magnetic Project Management School. We're live right now, and this will give you an opportunity to have these conversations. It's a safe place. If people in there are not making it safe, trust me, I will get them out there immediately. So again, the Magnetic Project Management School. Point number 4, reevaluate what you want. Listen, being passed over for a role might signal that the position or the organization, or maybe even you, are not a right fit. Use this time to reassess your career goals. Why is this important? Clarity about your aspiration helps you target roles that align with your skills, values, and most of all, your obsessions and passions. Here's my actionable tip. Create a list of what you're looking for in your next role, such as company culture, responsibilities, growth opportunities. These are going to really help you align when you're out there looking for opportunities. Number 5, the turn back moment. Everyone faces a moment when walking away may feel easier than preserving. See, this is a critical decision. And this is why I had to walk away, because it's critical, because you're in a point in your career, only you can make that decision. This is not a choice, but a decision. If you want to move forward, if you choose, or excuse me, if you make the decision not to go that, not to stick with it, I understand, I respect it, because the decision is yours. It's not mine. It's not anybody else, but it's your decision to make, and you have to make that decision. This is important because choosing to move forward, even in the face of adversity, builds resilience. It opens doors to new opportunities. And I will let you know, it will not be easy, but doggone it, it will be worth it. Here's my actionable tip. Recall a time when you faced a similar challenge and overcame it. Use the experience to remind yourself of your ability to adapt and thrive. Point number 6, looking for a job is actually like looking for a job itself, or let me reframe that. Looking for a job is actually a job itself. See, job searching can feel overwhelming, but treating it as a structured process makes it more manageable and productive. This is important because what if you treated your job search like a project? What would that look like? It's basically almost like creating a project charter, but this is the ED remix. You want a clear objective. What are my timelines? What are my deliverables? This keeps you focused and motivated. Here's my actionable tip. Dedicate specific hours each day for job hunting, networking, and skill building. Track your applications that you apply for in a spreadsheet. So this way it allows you to be organized. So when someone calls you, you won't be like, what job is this again that I applied for? You will already know once they start speaking about the job. How do I know this? Because yes, I've been down that road before. Point number 7, what is your high level plan? See, a high level plan allows you to set goals without becoming bogged down in unnecessary details. This is especially important when navigating uncertain times. This is important because flexibility is essential during a career transition, or you're trying to find the next role within this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, or I should say stay in love with, called project management. A high level plan keeps you focused on the bigger picture while adapting to change. And let me park here parenthetically, family, because now with AI in place, some people, I don't know who these some people is, but I recently read an article, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the comments. But they are using AI to help them apply to a lot of different jobs. And recruiters are saying, wow, they're using AI on their end to sift through this information. And from a very high level, family, we have to understand we have to be adaptable. What are you doing to be adaptable? This is why I talked about networking. This is why I talked about making yourself available and being part of a community or being part of groups, things of that nature. Here's an actionable tip that really wasn't on my list. And is won't you just start writing articles on LinkedIn or create yourself a blog? And this is going to help you when you're getting ready to sit in front of these interviews, because nowadays you need to separate yourself from all the rest of the candidates. And one of those ways is writing articles, do what I'm doing, producing episodes. Again, separating yourself from other candidates. This is what's key. Here's my last and final action tip here. Define 3 main goals, such as improve my resume, expand my network, and apply to roles and industries that I'm passionate about. And another thing, I've seen people where, I've talked to people where they say, hey, I seen a job opportunity and I didn't apply for it. And I said, well, why not? They said, well, they were asking for 40 years of experience and I only got 3. And I'm like, and I'm confused. And they can hear the confusion. I'm like, huh? On the phone. And I say, well, listen, let me explain something to you. You need to apply for those jobs anyway. One of the things is, and my grandmother is from Alexandria, Louisiana, and she said, baby, a closed mouth don't get fed. And I was like, okay, grandma. So point being is that having the ability to go to apply for it anyway, what's the worst that can happen? They say, no, you don't get a call back. Well, that's already happening. So what do you have to lose? Go ahead and apply. You may be surprised. This has happened to me time and time again, where I applied for opportunities where they may have said, well, we were looking for this particular experience in this particular field. But once I got in front of that person that was interviewing, it was on. because I did my homework. I studied the company. I tried to find out where some gaps at. How did I find out the gaps? I was asking probing questions. Matter of fact, if you haven't seen it, I have an episode and I'll link it down here as well, where I talked about different interviewing questions. Now, if you're part of the community, I'm going to do a deeper dive on those interviewing practices, because this is going to help you. Because you look, the resume, hey, that's great. But it's when you get in front, when it's mano y mano, or if it's a panel, it's showtime. You're selling yourself as well as they're selling themselves to you. So if we're selling each other, don't lie about what you can't do, but find things that's job related to what you have done in the past. Point number 8, learn from feedback. I get it. Nobody wants to be pointed out and receive constructive feedback. I remember when I started doing these episodes and I wouldn't get any comments. Barely was getting any views. And then I started getting views and I was getting, comments and people was downloading it. And the comments started getting really strange. I was like, hey, I mean, I'm doing this for free, right? Like I'm trying to give I don't want to give so much value that you can click on one of these episodes and say, wow, I got a lot of value from that episode. What else does he have? And that's why I do it. So you're going to get you want to receive that constructive feedback. Cause I remember I got a comment where someone said, hey, the PowerPoints are great, but could you make them a little bit lighter? Hey, that was great feedback. You know what? As soon as I got that comment, I went right and changed the slide deck, because I was going to be presenting the next day on a different episode. I pinged that person back and I said, hey, I want you to watch this episode because I made those adjustments that you recommended. And you know what? They appreciated that. And I appreciate it because they weren't trying to be a troll. They were really giving me genuine constructive feedback. Reason why this is important, understanding why you weren't selected for a role helps you address weaknesses and prepare you for the better for the next opportunity. Actionable tip. If possible, ask the interview for feedback on your application or your interview performance and use their input to refine your approach. This is no different from if you are a ACP or you are a CSM or any type of you're certified in any type of agile approach or mindset. Is we're constantly iterating. Hey, we got feedback. Okay, we're gonna make the adjustment. We got feedback there. We're constantly making an adjustment. It's like a loop. All right. Here's my 3 transformational remarks. And again, family, if you haven't signed up for the community, the Magnetic Project Manager community, point number 1, how are you speaking to yourself about challenges? Like I said, your internal dialogue shapes your mindset and resilience. A positive narrative helps you focus on the next step instead of dwelling on setbacks. Matter of fact, if you made it this far, I got something deeper than that. If we were sitting in a room and I heard how you were talking to yourself, or better yet, let's remix that. If how you talk to yourself, somebody was talking to you like that you didn't know that well, how would you respond? I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't accept that. I hope you wouldn't accept that. So here's my actual tip. Write down 3 positive affirmations daily. Again, right? This is a temporary setback. I have the skills to succeed in project management. Number 2, did you control the controllables? Focusing on the controllable aspects helps you learn from experience and channel your energy into areas that you can improve on. You need to reflect on what was in your control during that situation, because you have sharpened your skills to improve communication with decision makers. Now you've learned all of this. Now create an actionable plan to address these areas. That was my actionable tip. The last and final one, which is the most important of them all, because if you don't do this particular step, everything else is irrelevant. You might as well not even listen this far to the episode. And if you made it this far in the episode, first of all, I want to say thank you, because I understand this is different than what we normally discuss and talk about, but it had to be done. When someone reaches out to me and they're thinking about walking away from the thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, I have something to say about it, because I don't want people to walk away unless they've made the decision. Right now, I can tell they're on the fence, so I still got time to reach them. So I'm going to do everything I can to do my job to deliver the message. And that is address the emotional impact. Acknowledge these emotions. Don't run from them. Embrace them. If you're upset, if you're mad, embrace it, but embrace them constructively, ensuring that you don't hinder your decision making or your confidence. Here's my actionable tip. Give yourself time to reflect and vent your emotions through journaling, speaking with a trusted mentor, joining a community, and most of all, go seek professional support. Once you've processed, now it's showtime. Shift your focus to actionable steps so you can move forward. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This was one of those episodes that I wanted to make, but I didn't want to really make because I understand that the impact that when you make episodes like this, that people may or may not click on it, like, oh, he's on this personal development. Well, I believe in personal development so much to the fact that that's why I'm recommending this book here by Dennis Kimbrough. And then, of course, the Think and Grow Rich book. And then also pick up my book. Don't sleep on the Magnetic Project Manager. By the way, I go by the name ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, listen, that just simply means Ed. Until next time.